So, my story. You guys are wanting to hear it. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, so, from the age of 3, I was a cheerleader. My mom was a cheerleading coach. My dad was a football coach. And my brother was 2 years older than me. He played football, and him and my dad raced four-wheelers and go-karts. We had a track out in our backyard, and that's how we would tell people how to find our house, with the track out in our yard, because it was so big. I don't know. It was just I had a great childhood. We would go to Waco, Texas for Christmas every year for quite a while, until my aunt and uncle moved up here. But we went on a hot air balloon, and half the town came and watched us go up in it. That was so cool. I'll have to show you guys some pictures without me in it, because I look like a dork. Anyways, so I cheerleaded till I was a freshman. When I was 16, my parents decided they were getting a divorce. My mom worked 2 jobs so she could get her house and back on her feet. So, that gave me a lot of freedom. And my dad, he was doing his thing and working. So, I hung out with older girls, like girls that were in my brother's class, because I just always hung out with older people. I mean, I was friends with everybody, but my brother, he used all my friends, and his friends used me. So it was like a win-win situation. Like, I was a freshman, and I got my virginity taken by a varsity football player. It was just, I don't know, bragging rights, I guess. And sad to say, but yeah. Anyway, so, I went to a party December 9th, and it changed my life forever. The guy kicked me out of his party because I wasn't doing what all the other older girls were doing. And so, December 9th, if you're in Ohio, you know that it's freezing cold, and there's snow all over and whatnot. So, I had a long way to walk. 2 guys picked me up. I'm not gonna not take a ride, and the dumbest mistake I could have ever made. It was like out of a movie. When I woke up that morning, I was broken. I tried to commit suicide when I got home. I ended up at OSU Medical Center for about 2 months. When I got out of there, I moved with my mom, and I went to a different school. I hung out with the troubled kids because I didn't cheer anymore. I didn't, do what I was normally doing, because I didn't have the normal people that I used to hang out with. Everybody knew who I was. And I no longer had my brother there to protect me. I loved being Keith Robinson's sister, because everybody knew who he was, and I don't know, it was just really cool. So I wanted to be and do everything he did. So, besides drinking and eating rolls on the weekends, I went to cosmetology school, and we would leave half the day. I ended up dropping out, but it didn't spiral until I got pregnant with my son. His dad moved me out in the middle of nowhere. We lived like in Amish country. I had Colton a week before my 21st birthday. That's when he was due. So that was kind of crazy. But when I left the hospital that day, I had magic pills. And those Percocet, I was super mom. I was super woman. I was super baby mama girlfriend. My house was spotless. You know, it wasn't hard at all. People warned me about having a newborn. Dude, that was simple. Those Percocets made it simple. They were my best friend. His thing was alcohol and work and splitting wood, and mine was pills and my son. So it went from Percocets to Oxycontin to Opanas to heroin. My Oxycontin dealer passed away, and so a friend of mine met a Mexican and brought heroin, and the whole group just, it was like a domino effect. I snorted heroin for about a week until somebody said, if you're going to do heroin, you might as well do it the right way. And I was like, well, I'm different than you. I'm not going to get hooked to it. I can do it once and walk away. No, I got just as addicted to heroin as I did that needle. And that was just as hard to get away from. Any other pill from then on out, I didn't want to do it unless I put it in that. It's stupid. It spiraled. I stole his dad's, one of his favorite guns, and that was the end of me and him. I went to treatment twice. Once for my mom and dad, and the second for Colton. This third time I went because I was dying. I was on death's door, and I was knocking, and I could not wait to get to the other side. I was done with it. I hated my life. I hated myself. I hated what I became. I was a monster. I was literally a monster, and I didn't want to be around anybody. I was so broke and ashamed, and I had so much hurt because I never wanted to let my parents down like that. You know? They were always proud of me growing up, and they have nothing to brag about me or my brother about anymore because we were junkies, and we were stealing from people, and we were doing things that, you know, Robinson was no longer a good name for us because of what we were doing. So, finally my mom found me, and she said, okay, she said, I can't do this anymore. She said, I haven't slept since we haven't been able to find you. I have $300, and you're going to get $300 worth of dope. We're going to go plan your funeral, and you're going to tell your kids goodbye, or you're going to write a letter. She said, I can't do it no more. I'm waiting for the call that you're dead, and I'm about to die myself. Like, I mean, she was seriously about to have a nervous breakdown because of me. And, what's sad is I didn't even worry about saying goodbye to my kids at that time. I was more worried about, heck yeah, $300 worth of dope. Where am I going to find it? I got on the phone. I was all excited, and the closer we got there, she said, can you imagine seeing Colton and Kenley's faces looking at you in that coffin? Oh, that's all it took. I sat there, and I pictured my kids looking at me in a coffin, and I about threw up. That's the last thing we think about, is what it's going to do to our kids. We just want the pain to stop. We just want to get out of it, and we don't care how. I don't know how many times I just wanted to jump off a bridge. I wanted to do enough, hoping that it was going to kill me. Like, I would never wake up. That's what I would hope for. That's what I would wish for. It never happened, because this is my purpose today. Helping you guys. I am all in it to win it, and I am going to help every single one of you. It is so worth it. I could have not made the better choice than to find that place my nurse found for me. I went to treatment for those 3 months because I had to, or I was going to die. those 3 months was nothing compared to my life. You guys might think, oh my God, 90 days, that's forever. It's not. It was simple. And withdrawal is what you make it. If you psych yourself out and you say it's going to be awful, it's going to be freaking awful. It's going to be miserable. If you say, you know what, it's not going to be that bad. I did it. I quit heroin. I quit cigarettes around 23 women. I lived with 23 women and I quit both of them. I did it on a step process, and it worked, and it was easy. I don't know. And a lot of my faith had a lot to do with it. If it weren't for my counselor, I wouldn't have found my faith. She was big on faith, and she didn't care what anybody thought of her. A lot of people didn't like her because she did believe in God, and they thought that she pushed it on them, and she didn't. She just talked about what she believed. And I love her for that. I am most proud that I found my faith, because I always thought that people made it up. I always thought people were acting to make it sound like there was something better out there for us to believe in, you know? It's not true at all. There is a God, and He's working through me every day. If you guys can't see it, you guys can see it. I ain't worried about it. You guys can see it. You gotta be big in your faith. If not, dude, fake it to make it until you do. Joyce Myers, man, she is the way to go. She's the way to find it. I watched her every morning, and she helped me a lot. So, that's me. That's a lot of my story. I am over 9 months clean today, and I am so happy. I don't know, guys. I have never knew this person, ever. I never knew who I could be. I mean, half the stuff that comes out of my mouth, I don't know where it came from half the time. It just comes to me, and I say it, and I speak what I'm feeling, because I know it will help somebody, and I know somebody needs to hear it. That's what happens. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but God's working through me. And He can work through you guys too. And He's rooting for you. And He's there. He's just waiting for you to say, you know what? Help me. That's it. Help me. Because I need peace. And my mom needs peace. That I'm not going to die tonight. Think about that. Your parents are constantly worrying about if they're getting that phone call or somebody knocking on their door, letting them know that they found you in a ditch somewhere. Because that's what people do. Because they're more scared to get in trouble. So they'll leave you in that ditch instead of help save you, because they don't want to get in trouble for your needles or their dope. They ain't going to save you. You might think they're your friends, but I can guarantee you those 3 months I was away, I didn't tell anybody where I was going. And I'll be damned that any one of those friends that I thought were my so-called friends even called one time to check on me to see where I was at. Yeah. I could have been dead. They wouldn't have cared because they were off doing their thing. And that's the sick part of it. But anyways, on that note, you guys have a great day. That's some of my story. I'll get to more topics here probably tomorrow, hopefully, or later today if I can. But coming from Tiffany Robinson, Columbus, Ohio. One of the most grateful, blessed, beautiful women battling addiction. And I will win. I promise. Alright guys, have a good day. Love you all, and God bless you. Bye.